children, welcome back to your GK class. In previous class we had finished lesson 28 Yoga for Kids. I hope you all have learned it and PDF I have shared you. Did you complete your notebook? Good. I hope you all have completed your notebook. So today we are going to start new chapter 29. Chapter 29. The name of the chapter is Be a Smart Child. Be a Smart Child. So all of you take your GK book and open page number 42. Page number 42. So in your book it is given what would you do in the following situations. Here some situations are given and you have to choose correct options in each situation to be a smart child. Let's read situations. What are given here? Take the correct option in each situations to be a smart child. So first is, if you meet someone in the park, first you would wish him or her good evening, or you would smile and go away from there. What would you do? To be a smart child, what would you do? So you would wish him or her good evening. To be a smart child, you would wish him or her good evening. First one. Okay? If you meet someone in the park, then you would wish him or her to be a smart child. Okay? Next, if you need to interrupt someone, if you need to disturb someone, what would you say? What would you do? You would say, excuse me. You would say, excuse me, or you would interrupt him or her without saying anything. So to be a smart child, you would say, excuse me. Excuse me. To be a smart child, you would say, excuse me. If you need to interrupt someone, then what would you do? You would say, excuse me. Okay? Next, if you are going to a crowded place with your parents, suppose that if you are going to a crowded place with your parents, then what would you do? You would ask your parents not to hold your hands. Would you ask to your parents not to hold your hands? Or you would stay close to your parents? Or you would stay close to your parents? What would you do? Second option is correct. You would stay close to your parents. You would stay close to your parents. Clear? Next, if your teacher is teaching in the classroom, suppose that if your teacher is teaching in the classroom, then you would listen to her carefully or you would keep chatting with your friends. What would you do? To be a smart child, you would listen to her carefully. You would listen to her carefully. First is correct. This situation is right. So, you would listen to her carefully. If your teacher is teaching in the classroom, then you would listen her carefully. Clear? If someone gives you a gift, next situation is, if someone gives you a gift, then what would you do? You would ask about the price? No. You would not ask about the, you would say thank you. Second is correct. You would say thank you. If someone gives you a gift, then what would you do? You would say thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift. Next, if you need to cut something short, if you need to cut something short, you bring knife from the kitchen to cut it yourself? No. To be a smart child, you would ask an adult to cut it short. Second is correct. You would ask an adult to cut it short. Next situation, if you are about to sneeze, then what would you do? You would sneeze without caring for anyone. Would you sneeze without caring anyone? No, you would not do like this. You would use handkerchief. You would use handkerchief. Handkerchief means hanky. You would use handkerchief and say, excuse me, afterwards you can sneeze. So, second is correct. If you are about to sneeze, then you would use handkerchief and you would say, excuse me, afterwards you can sneeze. Okay? So, to be a smart child, what should we do? What should you do? If you meet someone in the park, you would smile and go away from there. No, you would wish him or her good evening. To be a smart child, you would wish him or her good evening. First is correct. Next, if you need to interrupt someone, how would you interrupt? You would say, excuse me. What would you say? Excuse me. So, first is correct. Next, if you are going to a crowded place with your parents, what would you do? You would get close to your parents. You would ask your parents not to hold your hands. No. To be a smart child, what would you say? You would stay close to your parents. You would stay close to your parents. Next, if your teacher is teaching in the classroom, then what would you do? You would listen to her carefully. You would listen to her carefully. Next, if someone gives you a gift, what would you say? You would say thank you. You would say thank you for the gift. Next, if you need to cut something short, you would bring knife from the kitchen to cut it yourself? No, you would not do like this. You would ask an adult to cut it short. You would ask to your adult to cut it short. Next, if you are about to sneeze, then what would you do? You would sneeze without caring for anyone? No. You would use handkerchief. What would you use? Handkerchief, and you would say, excuse me, afterwards you can sneeze. Clear? So, this chapter is over. Chapter 29, Be a Smart Child is over. Today, you have to read the book. Chapter 29, you have to read the page number 42 and 43. And you have to choose the correct situation which are given in your book. And I share your PDF and then you have to write in your GK book. Okay? Thank you.